Hi guys, welcome. This is going to be a general reading, so it will not pertain to everyone. Please take whatever resonates, leave anything that doesn't. I would really appreciate if you guys enjoy the video. If you could leave me a comment or give a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. Okay, let's see what Spirit has for you today, guys. Only messages are channeled, so I will just use the cards to help facilitate the channeling and kind of open up the line to Spirit. So let's get started and see what they have for you guys today. Just a reminder, all readings are timeless, so it does not matter when you're tuning in. If you should happen to see this video at whatever time, then it's a good time for you. First card to come out, be yourself. The situation calls for you to be your authentic self, which is the basis for your personal power. And we actually got this card yesterday as well. This is just calling for someone to be original. Be original, be yourself. You don't have to go with the group. You don't have to blend. It's really important that you just stay true to who you are. And the person watching this, I feel like that it's going to pertain to, or some of you, if you are an empathic person, like myself, it's very likely that in certain situations and around certain groups of people, you tend to morph into the individuals that you're surrounded by. So you will emulate their mannerisms, words, things that they say, how they conduct themselves, different styles of clothing and things like that. So this is just really just letting you guys know that it's important, if you can, to try to be mindful, especially when you are in settings and situations where you would tend to kind of just go with the group or try to mesh or blend with the crowd. Just be mindful of it, that really where you're gonna shine is when you're being your just true, authentic, genuine self and not anyone else. For some of you as well, I have a feeling that you're feeling like I'm just a little fish in a big pond. So I don't know if you are getting into a career where perhaps you feel like there's a lot of competition, whether it's modeling or perhaps acting, or specifically I'm feeling like someone is just feeling like they're out of place and how am I going to compete with these people? You can't compete, especially when there's that many people. There's no competition because nobody executes being you like you. So your best way to stand out and shine, especially amongst the crowd, is going to be by just being yourself and just being as true to yourself as you possibly can. Next card to come out, leadership, foundation of a successful future. Really beautiful that came out. So this is just calling for you to take an assertive type role, step in the lead. Perhaps some of you are coming into a leadership position with your employer. And maybe you've been promoted to manager or something where you're actually going to be overseeing a group of people. It's important to remember as well, to be a good leader, you want to try to be mindful of the people that are going to be looking up to you. Try to do things as honestly as you can. Try to do things as fairly as you can. And you want to be, in order to be a leader, it's important to be firm. But also, just as a reminder to some of you, I do feel like this person is feeling like, okay, I'm going to be in a leadership role now, so I have to really throw down the gavel and be very tough and stern and all of those things. You can be a leader and still be loving. And you see how, there's a lion here, which, lions are incredibly ferocious and we think of them as being very aggressive. But then there's this beautiful angelic being next to him, right? So it's kind of like, there's a balance. There's a balance that needs to be maintained in order to be a good leader. And if you are stepping into a leadership role, just know that it will be successful. If you're concerned about doing it correctly, or if you're going to be able to rise to the occasion, I'm hearing, you absolutely will. And just remember that you can always ask for guidance. You can always ask for strength. Ask Spirit, ask the divine to give you strength. Ask them to give you direction and directive. Also, try to remove the stress from yourself. If you are putting pressure on yourself or setting expectations, it's important to let go of that. Just expect that you're going to do the very best that you can with whatever comes your way each day, especially in this new leadership role that you may be facing. Next two cards come out. Healing heart. You're a powerful healer. Keep up the great work. I love when this comes out because actually most of us that are here on the planet right now are healers. That doesn't necessarily mean that you are doing work in the field of healing. You can be just working on self in order to be a healer, because when you heal parts of self and you heal your own energies and you recover yourself from any adversities that you've been through, any traumas that need repairing, you in turn, you heal your entire bloodline in part. You in part heal every single person that you have interaction with, that you have communication with, that you have relations with. So even if you're just here and you're in your own process, doing the best that you can every single day, this is just a reminder that you are a powerful healer and you are doing a great job. And specifically, I feel like someone is needing to hear that, because you're feeling like, what am I here for? Am I even doing anything? And just to give you an example, like for myself, for the longest time, I was just keeping my gifts to myself and keeping my healing abilities to myself. And for years, I really felt like it was a wasted gift that I had. I felt like I was just really wasting these things that I'd been blessed with. But some years ago, I was reminded that even being in your own process, it's one of the most healing things you could do, not just for self, but for humanity as a whole. Because like I said, whenever you're healing self and you're getting healthier, every single person you come into contact with gets a part of that. They get a part of that elevation, that elevated vibration that you've now attained. And so it's just a reminder that if you're here, you're breathing, you're working on yourself, you're doing the best you can with each day, you are making a difference, and you're just being encouraged to stay the course and stay the path. If any of you watching are light workers, I know especially for us right now, we're feeling like a call to arms, like it's time to come out of the darkness and start really sharing our gifts. But if you're not feeling ready to do that, or you're not feeling equipped yet, that's okay. You just do the best you can with each day that comes up. Even if you're just helping friends and family, that's what I've done for the longest time, is just be there for friends and family. And I've aided people countless times over the years. And that alone, it might not seem like a lot, but like I said, if you're offering that help to yourself, or you're offering it to others, even if it's just a small network of people and it's also important to remember, because I know a lot of times we will equate compensation to productivity, and that's just not true. If you're a healer, odds are you are giving away your gifts and not for anything in exchange. And it's important, specifically if you guys are feeling like, I'm not doing anything with my gift because I've not made a career out of it, or I've not generated an income from it, that is not where your value lies. And it would be a blessing to do that. And if you're passionate about it, you can certainly make your passion prosperous. But just remember that the value of what you're giving does not have to do with what is returned to you monetarily. The gifts that you're going to get and some of these things that you receive, they are the riches of the heart. And remember, those are the most valuable things on the planet. Those riches being deepened relationships and connections with people, feeling a sense of security with self, having faith, cultivating a deeper relationship with the divine, being able to offer guidance, assistance, and value to the people that are coming to you for help. I mean, there are just so many gifts that come from helping yourself and helping others in whatever capacity you're doing it, and in whatever way you are receiving compensation, whether you are or not. Next is go with the flow. Let things happen for you. Really nice. So for that one, I feel like some of you are trying to force some things. There's someone that's watching that's like, I need to figure out life. I need to get this, and this, all my ducks in a row is what I just heard. And it's so funny because every single person I know who's ever regularly used that terminology of getting all my ducks in a row usually doesn't have things together. And it's important sometimes to let go of that expectation of, I need to have A, B, and C lined up so that X, Y, and Z can happen. That's not always the way that life flows. Life will flow to you in a harmonious way, in a way that's going to be most beneficial to you, in a way that's going to be seamless, that will make a transition easier if you're needing to go through one. So this is really just calling you to be in that place of movement and flow, just like water. Just let things flow, let things go, let things be how they're meant to be. Now that doesn't mean to go into hermit mode and not take action. If there's something you're working on or some things you're wanting to change, yes, take action when you're guided to, when you feel compelled to, but don't overdo it. And sometimes doing too much can actually become a hindrance to you being productive and reaching a goal. And if you're seeing this and it's resonating with you, you know what it is. You know what area you're needing to cut back in, slow down, release the expectation. And also, remember, you can always give tasks to the divine. You can always give tasks to your spirit team, ask them to assist you, aid you, give you guidance in whatever it is that you're dealing with. You can also ask them to just to take any of your thoughts of pressure that you're putting on yourself. You can ask them to help you get to an emotional state where you are letting go and going with the flow. That also has to do with healing. Someone is trying to force a healing process here. I don't know if you're, someone here is grieving the loss of something, and I feel like it's the actual physical loss of a person. So that could be someone that has actually crossed over to the other side. Yeah, that definitely is. So someone's crossed over on the other side, for someone that's either watching this now or going to be tuning in the future, because sometimes channelings are for future as well. I never know. But going with the flow as far as healing. And I feel like specifically you're struggling with allowing yourself to feel sadness, allowing yourself to have tears, and putting pressure on yourself that you need to be crying right now, or you should feel sad, or you should feel whatever. It's really important to not put that pressure on yourself. Healing is so incredibly personal. Grieving is so incredibly personal. And though the process might look similar for each person, it can really, really be very different depending upon person. So release the expectation that you should be crying, or you should be feeling this, or you should be feeling that, or you shouldn't be in denial, or you should be in the full awareness and acceptance. It's important to just remove any pressures that you have on yourself and just go with your body's natural flow. So that could mean, you know, maybe you're just reminiscing about this person, or maybe it perhaps hasn't hit you that this person is actually passed. And I do feel like the person that's passed, it's been some time now, and you're having moments where you're like, oh my gosh, like, what am I doing? I need to grieve this loss, or I don't feel anything. What's wrong with me? Sometimes things can become latent based on what we tell ourselves. You know, some of us really put pressure on ourselves to be strong, and we think that being strong means withholding emotion, but you can help facilitate movement of these emotions out of you by letting yourself know and reaffirming that your strength lies in allowing yourself to feel your emotions and express them however is best for you, however you feel called to. And for those of you that may be struggling with releasing tears, I would just say that it's really incredibly important to not stifle any of the body's natural processes. Your body is a very intricate machine, and we come in equipped with everything we need in order to be at peak performance and optimal function. And so I treat tears just like any other bodily function. If you need to release it and it comes up, you need to release it so that you can be feeling better. If you are to hold it in, and imagine doing that for years, as a lot of us do, imagine what that does internally to the body. And for some of you, you're not going to have to imagine what it does to the body. You're already feeling the effects of it. If you're someone who struggles with migraines, headaches, any kind of nerve pain, and more specifically, I would say for any kind of heaviness or grief, that's stored in the lungs. So if you've been storing sadness and grief for years, I would surmise that you're somebody that is probably dealing with respiratory issues, most likely whether it's getting recurring bronchitis, or let's say you have asthma, or even COPD or something more advanced. Something you can do that can really, really help you is to release. Grief is stored in the lungs. It stays in the chest. You guys can look this information up to verify it if you're like me and you're wanting, you know, to hear it from someone else or see it from an actual valid source. I would encourage you to look into Louise Hay. She has a list of ailments of the body that are aligned with certain emotional and mental duresses. And so she noticed patterns when she was working with people, that she'd have so many people that, oh, they all had asthma and they were all holding in grief, or a lot of them had different types of cancer and they were holding in angers. There's such a deep mind-body emotion connection. So yeah, really important. And also what you can do, it seems like it might feel weird at first, but you can get tears flowing out of you however they'll come to you. Some people will try to watch a movie that invokes emotions of sadness, and that can, if that brings it up, and then just go with it. And also, you don't have to know what you're crying about. That's something that is, it's important to remember sometimes sadness just happens and we might not know or remember exactly what it goes back to, and you don't have to in order to release it. You can still have that release. It's just like, I know this is graphic, but it's going to be a good example for you guys. It's like if you need to have a bowel movement, you don't need to figure out like what remnants from what meals are coming out now. It's still coming out. It still needs to be released. It's the same thing with tears. If you feel something beneath the surface that needs to be released, go ahead and release it. You don't have to know what it goes back to in order to release it and benefit from feeling that release. What else do we have for you guys? Spirit, what else do you have? What other messages do we have? 7 heavenly virtues: faith, hope, clarity, fortitude, justice, patience, and temperance. Really good reminders. I'm going to hold this closer so you guys can really see that. Take a screenshot if you need to. And remember for this, the 7 heavenly virtues, you have access to them all the time. So if you are, for example, you're needing faith, you're needing hope, ask the divine. Ask your divine team, can I please borrow these things for the day? Fortitude, you're being reminded to stay the course. Even if it's blurry, even if you're confused, you're not sure if you're doing it right, you don't know if you're doing it at all, just know that you're on the right path and be consistent. Stay committed, not to the process necessarily, but to self. Patience, you're definitely being called to have patience right now. Patience with yourself and patience with others. Especially whoever it is that's dealing with the loss of someone. A lot of times the death of a person can really bring up a lot of different emotions for people, especially if it's a family member. That can bring up dysfunctions in families, so it can be a turbulent time amongst family members. So just remember to have patience, not only with yourself, but anyone else who's dealing with this loss as well, or anyone that's close to you that's seeing you deal with this loss or grieve this loss. Try to be mindful, because I do feel like there's a little bit of tension being caused. Like there's arguments happening. So I don't know if I feel like, okay, it's with someone's person, it's with your actual your romantic partner as a result of this physical loss of someone here. Yeah, it's really important to be patient with yourself, but also patient with the other person, and try to have understanding for where the other person's coming from. Even though they're not the one that's necessarily lost someone, it can be really challenging for your loved ones to see you going through a hard time, especially if they don't know what to do and can't help you and see you struggling. So, and it's not to just give anyone a pass if they're not being nurturing or comforting to you in your journey, but if you are having some harsher conversations or stronger emotions coming up that are not feeling good or causing any type of imbalance, just it's important to try to empathize with what this outside person is experiencing as well, and what they're seeing you go through. I think that will help you have better understanding and have clearer communication with one another, and you can get to a place where that is more peaceable. And also, the more you heal your heart, the more you heal every relationship that you have. So just keep doing whatever you can do and take it day by day. And journaling, I've mentioned that in almost all my videos. It's such a powerful tool. A journal can be a phenomenal therapist. Get down your emotions, even if you don't know what they are. If you're not sure, journal about that. Just journal about whatever comes to you, whatever you feel, whatever you think, whatever you want. Make a decision. Feeling stuck or indecisive, listen to your intuition and make a decision. So what came up for me instantly for this, I don't know if it's the photo on the card, but what came from the divine right now, Spirit's saying that it's important to take time for self. So I feel like you're mulling over, should I take a vacation right now? Is the timing right? Or maybe you had a vacation planned, but then this person passed, so you were going to cancel it. This might even be a wedding for some of you. I feel like a destination wedding that was on the horizon, but then, this unexpected things come up and you're like, I don't know if the timing's appropriate. I don't know if we should do it. Should we not? You're being called to make a decision. Listen to your intuition and make a decision. And I would say the best decision is going to be whichever one causes less tension at the thought of it. So for example, if let's say it is a wedding, if the prospect of following through with it is making you so sick and stressed out that you can barely plan, then definitely opt out. It's not a good time. But if it's something you're excited about and you're wanting to refrain because you want to meet other people's expectations, or you're worried about how other people will perceive it, I would say proceed, because that's something that's going to be good for you. If you're feeling like you still want to do it, whatever is best for you is going to feel good for you. And that doesn't mean that everything will be peaceable the whole entire way around with everyone involved, but you will sleep more peacefully at night if you choose yourself and you're on your team and you're right with the decision that you've made. Because I do feel like if you don't follow through with this, it's going to be a regret. Oh, we should have done it then. It would have been good too. I wish we would have anyway. I'm feeling that come up. Okay, let's see what else I have for you guys. Spirit, what else do we have for today's reading? Guides, angels, what else do we have? What do we have for today? 2 cards. Dove, take a leap of faith. I'm not sure, nothing's coming to me on this card, so whatever you guys are thinking of that comes to you with this, take a leap of faith. This just has to do with a decision. It could be a relationship. I feel like for some of you it is. It has to do with communication with a partner, someone you're out of contact with. Take a leap of faith. Feel like you're not sure if you should reach out, or perhaps this other person has reached out and you were waiting to respond. You're not sure if it's a good idea or a good time. Trust your instinct. Take a leap of faith. This card is showing up to let you know that you are supported. You are divinely looked after. Doves represent peace, calm. It'll be harmonious, this reaching out. You'll feel like you have a balance with the world, with life. And then, like you said, you're very supported. So if you're wanting to reach out, just know that it will be the right thing to do. It will be a good thing for you to do. Knowledge, seek knowledge. I love that card. It's so beautiful. It's one of my favorites. Seek knowledge. So for some of you, you're being called, whatever you're working on right now, to get more information on it. And this doesn't have to be anything like academic necessarily, though it could be. If you're needing more information, for example, if you're starting a business, definitely get more information on the steps that you need in order to successfully do this. What types of support systems you can be putting in place to help facilitate this change. For the new job, those of you that are stepping into a leadership role at work, get more information on that, like how to be a good leader. There are so many phenomenal books available to you that managers have written, and CEOs of the world, best companies in the world write books all the time to offer support to people who are wanting to step into leadership roles and do it successfully. Also listen to TED Talks, watch TED Talks, or TED Talks are available on every single thing that you can possibly imagine. So the knowledge you're seeking, it doesn't necessarily have to be in books. So you could be seeking the knowledge from literature, from watching other people talk about their experiences, from reaching out to people in that arena of information that you're wanting knowledge on. I'm always learning. That's one of my rules in life. I make sure I learn something new every single day. I watch something new that I've never seen before, or I read something that's a new concept. I'm learning every single day, and it's so wonderful to do that. And we have such an opportunity with the internet being available to us, because there's such a plethora of information and there's always more being added. But also, I feel like this knowledge as well has to do with the situation. Yeah, this definitely has to do with the situation too, because that's coming up really strong. So the knowledge can also be just getting the facts straight, going to each source. I feel like there's something going on. There's conflict. There is duress amongst parties, is what Spirit's saying. So, and you'll know what that is and how it, and take it how it pertains. But it's important to not react based on what you think or what you're being told. And I don't even know if you guys have like a dog in this fight anyway, is what they're saying. That's funny. I don't normally say that. But if you, it might not even be your place, but if you are getting involved in this, make sure that you have the facts straight. Make sure that you are responding or engaging in a way that's based off facts, not assumptions, not off what people are giving you their variation of. Just get clear on things. I'm noticing as well in this card, there are quite a few different parties in this card. See all the different groups of people. So maybe it's important for you to just retreat and, get the facts first. Sit with self before you do anything, before you engage. Okay, let's see what else we have. Spirit, what else do we have? Let's do one more card, you guys, or one last pull, however many cards I want. Spirit, what else do you have for us today? Opportunity knocks. Go for it. This opportunity could be the offer of that leadership role that we were talking about with your employer, or perhaps with yeah, it would be your employer. Actually, it could be with something else. It could be with what am I hearing? Leadership for like extracurricular activities. I want to say like Cub Scouts or something like that, but I don't think it's for that. But something, actually it could be something like that. Some group that you're in, stepping more into a leadership role, like perhaps taking on an officer's type role. Like let's say, for example, you're in Toastmasters. You know, perhaps you're getting the opportunity to be like head Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster, or something like that. Opportunity knocks. It's good to go for it. And it's something you're not being forced to do. It's not like, oh, okay, now you're having to do this. It's something you have a choice on, which is why this card is coming up. Just so you know that it's okay to do. It's a good choice to make, a good decision for you. Go for it. You're supported. You have everything that you need. And it'll be a good thing for you. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If whenever you're watching this, if it should happen to resonate with you, and you want to give me some feedback, I would really appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.